Welcome to Luthiers, Tips, Tools and Training from Crimson Guitars. I'm Ben Crowe. This video is brought to you by long-held desires. For many years I have thought that it would be very cool to make a three-dimensional inlay in a guitar. Now, traditional inlays are made using mother of pearl and metals and woods and all sorts of things, and you can get a 3D effect if you are clever. Mother of pearls, for example, have a chatoyant, so they move to a certain extent, much like pretty figured timbers. I want something that actually has a third dimension, something that actually is physically 3D and will give the effect that the inlay itself is actually moving. I'm not entirely sure if this is possible, but it's certainly going to be fun trying. My initial foray into this was on the original bog oak guitar, where I took the trapezoidal inlays down that fretboard, routed them out as if I would be putting in a normal 2mm thick piece of mother of pearl or mother of toilet seat if you're Gibson. And I gold leafed the inside of that cavity and then put in some resin. Boo, hiss. I don't like resin very much either. It has its place, and its place is actually in this project. I am going to, in this video, be sculpting, carving, casting, engraving, not in that order, making molds and creating a three-dimensional dragon to put into this guitar. By the way, this is the universe slapping me in the face. I decided that I could plaster a room because, hey, I can build guitars, I can do anything, right? It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Burn it.
Now here is the neck. This is a custom build that we're doing at Crimson Guitars, and this is the design. We went to one of my favorite artists of all time, my firstborn child, the eldest, long-term project #1. And we commissioned this dragon. Now the plan is to have the dragon's head finish at the 12th fret. And further up, once we've got the process sorted, up at the first and second is going to be the triple moon crimson logo. When you're doing a 12th fret inlay, you tend to center it on there, so it's the 11th, 12th, 13th. I would like the dragon to be as large as possible. The whole point is that his hands are basically pushing up against the fretboard, and the tail, he's encapsulated in there. So essentially his hands are around the 12th fret and his nose is in the 12th fret, and that gives me more space and will make this side look a lot less bare. This also means that I don't have to fight with the abomination that is a printer. Yeah. Before I move forward though, cut it out and put it in place so I can show my client what I'm thinking. This project is one of several very cool three-dimensional inlays that have been on my to-do list for far too long. I'm almost overwhelmed with the excitement of actually getting to grips with all of them. Now the size has been confirmed, the true fun begins. Essentially, I'm going to be pouring a very high quality plaster of Paris, predominantly used to make museum specimens and things that you're going to keep for years and study. So it's really good stuff. This first attempt is the first attempt. It might not actually go according to plan. Always put the powder into the water. And give it a good mix. So that, while trying to not introduce too many bubbles. Let it sit for a few seconds, and it is very very warm right now, so this is already setting up. That's going off very fast. It's also not enough. This is also where we find that my workbench is just absolutely not perfectly level. While that starts its incredibly rapid setting process, don't know what happened to my voice there, I'm going to start cutting out a template. My original plan was to build the dragon on top of this printout, essentially. But now that I've got a background, I'm going to build it, or get the rough outline at least, doing it this way. That will do nicely, but first I want to clean up this surface. We're almost cured. In with a cabinet scraper, which is just one of many guitar building tools or general woodworking tools that I'm going to use in this process. Not sure if you can see any of those lines, but I can. In the same way that I would with a normal inlay, I'm going to recess the edge, and it's essentially an edge-to-edge thing. And when I come in with the next application of plaster, the meniscus effect is going to hold it to the lines that I've created. And this is why I have spent so much time of late working on prototyping the new Crimson Inlay Chisels. Look at this. Ah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, nearly there. Now I've got my outline sorted. You can see it, I can see it, and it's going to make applying the first layer of plaster far easier. I am also going to quickly, while it is this soft, outline the head and the haunches, I suppose, because those are going to be built up higher to give me the 3D-ness that I'm after. And then I'm going to call this a day because that hurt. And here it is. So basically I'm going to start filling in the inside area with wet plaster, and then as it cures, I'm going to sculpt it, carve it, and create a 3D beast. Day 2, and the fun is starting to happen. This came off the glass, which was fully expected. I'm going to tape it down, so I've got a slightly chunkier bit of material to work on. And yeah, it is now absolutely hard and solid. And yeah, let's get sculpting. Now, as much as this is supposed to be three-dimensional, and that's the whole point, I am only working with the thickness of a fretboard, and I don't want to remove huge amounts of material. So essentially it's going to be low relief. Now the feathery crest, that's going to be right up at the highest level, along with the head and these two front feet, with everything else smoothing down behind. What the hell, Ben? This is not going to look good. This is not going to have the effect that you promised. And I say, wait, watch, you'll see. This is not finished, but now that I've got two layers that are at completely different hardness levels, it's causing issues with the detail that I'm able to put in. So I'm going to let this cure for a while, and 24 hours actually. Let's just let this get to full hardness, and at that point I can start using grinding tools if I want to, or just very sharp chisels and engraving tools. It gets incrementally harder with every minute, but I like making things hard for myself. I love the challenge of knowing that I'm speeding against or racing against something that is inexorably getting to a point where I'm not going to be able to work with it in the easy fashion. It's going to get harder and harder and harder, and that fills me with joy. So yeah, let's have a look at where she is now. There are still some sections I think where I'm going to build up with even more plaster of Paris, but there's carving, there's engraving, there's detail. I want this to be as anatomically correct as it is possible to be. So yeah, this has been really a stepping stone. It has been more than 24 hours now. This plaster has cured as much as it is going to, and the time has come to put in some detail. There are areas, so obviously I don't have a back foot there. That's just wrong, so that's going to take some work to scrape down and carve down. I've got to add definition to the legs, where the shoulder is, sort of thing. Change the neck, and obviously the feet and toenails and all that sort of stuff require final carving, and then we're going to go in and add even more details. This is a feathery tail and mane, I suppose. There's a lot, and I'm not going to film every single part of it. So I've unearthed a bit of a cavity there, but the joy of this material is I can go in later and fill that. No worries. Another cavity. Should have been more careful, done it a bit slower. I'm seeing where I've not got enough material here. That leg is supposed to be thicker. This foot is at a slightly wrong angle as well. This is one of those projects that has just gone insane. I got to this stage using various tools that I had here, but I knew that I had stuff that was better somewhere in storage, moved house, closed workshops. It's been an insane year or two, and I finally found them. A drawer full of fine engraving tools and gunstock checkering tools and things like that. I now finally have an overhead camera, and I got one of these spinny Lazy Susan things because absolutely essential. So I'm going to be using a selection of the Crimson Inlay Chisels, but also a variety of smaller engraving and graver tools in order to make this process both as quick and as precise as possible. This is a crimson polishing strop, which is great for reviving the edge. There are still a few gaps where I'm going to have to fill before I take a cast, but I'm starting to get the final shapes, the gross detail. Okay, so this is the first pass. I'm going to take a cast of this, make a mold, and pour another one in plaster. There are things that I'm not happy with. I need to finesse and change and adjust this. I am not going to make you watch all of that. I'm going to take this beastie and bring it to the second and third and probably fourth and fifth iterations off camera, because I think that's only fair. I've missed where the sort of knee comes up on the body there, and that foot looks a little bit awkward. This foot is okay, but yeah, the middle toe needs to be longer. And it's just, I don't know, there's the size difference between that one and that one is correct based on yeah, where it is in the image, but yeah, not quite there. I want to bring the head potentially a bit further forward. The neck here is not ideal. That's a bit of an awkward curve there, and we've sort of gone flat off. The face needs a lot of work. I need to create these whiskers somehow. Potentially we might end up basing this a little bit more on an existing animal, at least the face, but we shall see. This beastie here, the leg, has got the wrong shape. I did not add enough material, and the thing that's causing some issues now is that I've got various applications of material that have cured to different hardnesses based on potential changes in the mix, but also how hard I compacted, etc. And it's making the carving, it's being a little bit awkward. I want this to be absolutely perfect. Yeah. Okay, I'm using this quick 2-part silicone putty. It cures very, very quickly, so you really need to give it a good go. This is not ideal for the final mold, but will give me enough detail for what I want to do here, which is you know, quick and dirty. We have a few minutes to hopefully get this into every nook and cranny. Next time, remove all jewelry first. And then you need to stop before it goes off, because that's how you make more gaps. He says not stopping. Thank you for watching. Please click like, subscribe, come back for the next episode. The next video on the channel is not going to be this, although it will be tangentially related. Yeah. Welcome to a new project. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye.